Hi there, and welcome to another edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. Just a couple of days ago, we had our most recent webinar on our LiveAways What's Next, where we talked about what the future is for our very successful LiveAways programs. Of course, next year we've got Koh Samui, Madeira, and Cyprus coming up, and we wanted to think a little bit further ahead in terms of the types of places that we might go in future. And we talked about 4 destinations in particular. First of all, Bali, Indonesia, with its legendary rice paddies and colorful festivals. We also talked a bit about Malta, a small island between Sicily and Tunisia, where, of course, there is a very, very rich and storied history, and it's a wonderful, compact place with a terrific Mediterranean climate all year round. We talked a little bit as well about Tuscany, which for most of you needs no introduction. It is famous for its incredible rolling hills and countryside, and of course the agriturismo, the wonderful food and wine that is produced in that region, and of course is known throughout the world. And finally, we talked about Colombia, which of course was a bit of an outlier, but this is a country that is becoming quickly one of the most sought after destinations in South America. The place has completely transformed itself since the dark days of the 70s and 80s, when they had all the challenges with drugs and cartels and so on, and is becoming one of the most popular places to visit in South America. So if you missed that webinar, you can get the replay by clicking on the link below, and you can find out a little bit more about those destinations, as well as about our LiveAway programs in general. And of course, what differentiates them from other programs is that it allows you a chance to stay in a place for a longer time, but not just like literally checking into an apartment with nothing to do, but we've developed our so-called activity credit, an excursion program that allows you a great deal of flexibility in terms of what you choose to do during the time that you spend there. So it's really kind of a novel concept. And for me, what's important is it's also about bringing our community to the local community, meeting new people, both locals and expats who live in these different countries, and making new friends along the way. So it really is a new concept, and certainly by judging by the success of the programs that we've offered so far, I think it has a bright future. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we have this coming Thursday, April the 1st, a webinar covering the relaunch of our Azores and Porto program, which of course was scheduled last year, but like so many other programs, we've had to put off. So we'll be talking about Azores and Porto on April the 1st at 11 o'clock a.m., our usual time. Followed a week later on April the 8th by our Gardens of England and France tour. It's hosted by a good friend of mine, Todd Kjaergaard, who is one of Toronto's preeminent event florists, and he's going to be taking you through the wonderful garden shows in France and England in May of next year. So join us for that webinar on April the 8th at 11 o'clock in the morning. And just one other thing, I don't want to forget that if you are interested in either of our Koh Samui LiveAway programs or our Madeira program for next year, the early booking bonus that we offered will expire on March the 31st. And of course, there's not much obligation if you put your name on the list now, because we've deferred all deposits until at least June the 1st, given the pandemic. So you don't have to put any money down now. You just have to get your name on the list and hold yourself a spot. So it would be a great time to do it, to take advantage of that booking bonus, which is, as I say, is a $200 addition to the activity credit on both of those programs. So I look forward to catching up with you again next week. Please keep the emails coming in. I love to hear all of the great feedback. And as we hopefully near the end of this pandemic, we will get back to traveling soon. And certainly I can't wait for it. I'm sure you can't either. See you next week.